Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's so good to have you all here this morning. We're going to start making announcements and such as we've been trying to do. We're going to try to make this more and more of a regular routine, just doing it right up in front before we get into the movement of our worship together. But I do have a couple announcements. The first one, of course, is you register your attendance. You'll find the blue box tablet things at the aisles, and just make sure you've registered your attendance so we know you're here. And if you're visiting, make sure that you've opened up the box and taken one of our band CDs with you. We'd love for you to have that if you're visiting. And for that matter, if you've just lost your old one and you've been a member forever, then you can also grab one too, but make sure the visitors get one. Three important announcements. Next week, the Fort Worth is doing something it annually does to frustrate and fluster First United Methodist Church. They're having the Cowtown Marathon, which up until this current year used to go all the way around and block the traffic all the way around the church. So that if you were trying to get here, by 11, it's pretty well trickled down a little bit, but it's still moving through. But it can still be a little bit of a headache. So this year they're trying to navigate the traffic much more easily by just allowing traffic to happen, but they will still stop you at the intersections when runners are coming through. So the streets are no longer blocked off, but you will still have to wait. So the church is emailing folks, at least those whose emails we have, emailing everyone to let them know the specific routes. But you might get online with the Cowtown website and find out just before you come next week so that you're not either delayed or frustrated or that sort of thing. Just a heads up on that. The other thing, too, is that at the back door, and I believe at the back door are these brochures. We are entering into the season of Lent, which, of course, is our preparation of 6 weeks as we lead up to Easter. But the theme for the church at large is what happens at the table, thinking in terms of all the encounters that Jesus has at the table and how we reflect on our own lives. But to help us kind of get into that are all these series of wonderful events that are happening church-wide and within here as well that are part of the Lenten season. So we want you to take a look at that. There's some interesting things. The one I want to highlight is this guy, Milton Brasher Cunningham, who will actually be here speaking on April 13th. More about that later. But he's got this wonderful book called Keeping the Feast, Metaphors for the Meal, and which is kind of the basis. So we hope you'll be a part of that. It's going to be fun. It'll be food. It will be fellowship. It will also be insight and learning. So hope you do that. Last thing to announce. Several people asked me, where do you get one of these stickers? I want a peanut butter sticker for my shirt. We are in the midst of the peanut butter wars. Charles announced it last week, and we only have one more week to go, and we are losing miserably. We are losing by a factor of 2-1 with Genesis United Methodist Church, and even though we practice in here, there is no basis for creating shame. We will feel ashamed. We don't. Jim Connor, the pastor of Genesis, has no problem shaming others. We don't want to give him that opportunity. So if you just make sure that the next week when you come to church, you bring buckets full of peanut butter jars. Go visit the local Costco and various multi-stock kind of places, and bring the peanut butter in. Of course, it's going to feeding homeless and to a number of other facilities for outreach with peanut butter. But the main reason, of course, is that we show up Genesis United Methodist Church. So we want to make sure that you do that. Are y'all not resonating with that motivation at all? And yes, Sharm, where can we get these stickers? Oh, I thought you gave me that.
The information desk.
Oh, sure, the information center, the welcoming center in the hallway. Yeah. Okay. Well, we will find some for you too, if that'll help.
They'll make some.
Are they out? There are no more? Oh. Okay, well, you can have mine. I'll give mine to someone. All right. We're glad to have you here. Let's begin. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I almost did forget. Last minute edition. Sharon Robarts, who's spoken before, is going to speak on, we're also in the midst of a finance campaign.
Hey, I got good news, though, from the Finance Committee, from the stewardship folks, and that is that we are about halfway to our goal of pledging $3.2 million to do the operations of this great church. Like you, I enjoy what we do here in 1111 week after week after week. I'm inspired. I'm able to keep going in my busy week. And that's happening for all of our friends who attend all the other worship services. But that's just what happens here on Sundays. There's so many things that our church is doing throughout the week. For instance, down where I work at the First Street Mission, we are providing goods and services for homeless people, but also for people who are not homeless but who are struggling financially. Also, there's part of the ministries of this church include counseling services, ministry to people who are elderly, education for children. I mean, the list goes on. Our church is known around the city for the many, many good things that we do. And I hope you'll join me in pledging to keep these things going. We need to give generously because we can. When I was a little girl, I learned a really great lesson. It was that, giving to the church is kind of like paying your bills. The way it was taught to me, though, really has warmed my heart forever, and that is, it's not a bill I hate to pay. I love to participate with you in making all of these good things happen, and it does take money. And by the way, I heard from Bob and Evelyn. They are off on a little cruise down at Waxahachie, observing what Bob calls the observation of the beheading of St. Valentine's. So that's what they're doing right now, but they signed their pledge card before they left. Way to go. Yeah.
Galileo's head was on the block. The crime was looking up the truth. And as the bombshells of my daily fears explode, I try to trace them to my youth. And then you had to bring up a reincarnation over a couple of beers the other night. Now I'm serving time for mistakes made by another in another lifetime. So how long till my soul gets it right? Any human being ever reached the kind of light I call on the resting soul of Galileo, king of night vision, king of insight. Then I think about my fear of motion, which I never could explain. Some other fool across the ocean years ago must have crashed his little airplane. How long till my soul gets it right? But any human being ever reach the kind of light I call on the resting soul of Galileo, king of night vision, king of insight. I'm not making a joke, you know me, I take everything so seriously. If we wait for the time till our souls get it right, then at least I know there'll be no nuclear annihilation. My lifetime, I'm still not right. Thanks to those before me, that's all I've got to say. Maybe you squandered big bucks in your lifetime, but now I have to pay. But then again, it feels like some sort of inspiration to let the next life off the hook. She'll say, look what I had to overcome from my last life. I think I'll write a book. She had makes it right. Can any human being ever reach the kind of light, except for the resting soul of Galileo, king of night vision, king of insight?
Elizabeth just sang about getting our souls right, and whatever feels not right for you this morning, I invite you to join me as we stand and say a prayer and acknowledge this journey that we're all on, that we all walk together, that we all walk sometimes independently, seeking to find that which somehow brings wholeness to our lives and to our community. Holy One, as we gather around this place and celebrate the creative path of faith, may we find in this journey the inspiration, the skill, the gift, and the possibilities that might move through us to change the world, to change our lives. Whatever may be broken and whatever may feel stuck, transformation. That's our prayer. Amen.
So stay standing and let's sing together. Maybe watching from a safe distance, maybe so close you can taste the blood.
Thanks. You can be seated.
This proud land we grew up strong. We were wanted all along. I was taught to fight, taught to win. I never knew I could fail. No fun left to live, it seems. I am a man whose dreams have all deserted. I've changed my face, I've changed my name, but no one wants you when you lose.
Don't give up, 'cause you have friends. Don't give up, you're not beaten yet. Don't give up, I know you can make it.
Though I saw it all around, never thought that I could be affected. Thought that we'd be the last to go. It is so strange the way things turn. Drove the night toward my home, the place where I was born, on the lakeside. As daylight broke, I saw the earth, the trees had burned down to the ground.
Don't give up, 'cause you have us. Don't give up, we don't need much of anything. Don't give up, 'cause somewhere there's a place where we belong. Oh, rest your head where you worry too much. It's gonna be alright when times get rough. You can fall back on us. Don't give up. Oh, please don't give up.
I got to walk out of here, 'cause I can't take it anymore. I'm gonna stand on that bridge and keep my eyes down below. Whatever may come and wherever may go, that river's flowing.
There's a place where we belong.
Don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. Don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. Don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. Don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. Don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. Don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. Don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. Don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. Don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. Don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. Don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. No, no. Don't give up, don't give up, don't give up.
I'm reading from Mark 7:31 through 37. Then Jesus returned from the region of Tyre and went by way of Sidon towards the Sea of Galilee in the region of the Decapolis. They brought to him a deaf man who had an impediment in his speech, and they begged him to lay his hand on him. He took him aside in private away from the crowd and put his fingers in his ears, and he spat and touched his tongue. Then looking up to heaven, he sighed and said to him, "Ephphatha," that is, "be opened." And immediately his ears were opened, his tongue was released, and he spoke plainly. Then Jesus ordered them not to tell no one, but the more he ordered them, the more zealously they proclaimed it. They were astonished beyond measure, saying, "He has done everything well. He even makes the deaf to hear and the mute to speak."
What that story doesn't tell is that just as Jesus was holding his tongue, this disciple peeked around and said, "Jesus got your tongue?" Sorry. Pay attention. This is a piece from one of our favorite mystic poets, Sufi Jalaluddin Rumi, who in the 12th century would gather with the Sufi initiates, the dervishes, the whirling dervishes. They would dance in whirling dances all night long until dawn, all night long, as a part of their sacred ritual to open themselves up to that which might flow into them, flow through them of wisdom. And perhaps this is one of the many things that Rumi wrote in those early morning hours. Who gets up early to discover the moment light begins? Who finds us here circling, bewildered like atoms? Who comes to a spiral, who comes to a spring thirsty and sees the moon reflected in it? Who, like Jacob, blind with grief and age, smells the shirt of his son, his lost son, and can see again? Who lets a bucket down and brings up a flowing prophet? Or like Moses, goes for fire and finds what burns inside the sunrise? Jesus slips into a house to escape enemies and opens a door to the other world. Solomon cuts open a fish and there's a gold ring. Omar storms in to kill the prophet and leaves with blessings. Chase a deer and end up everywhere. An oyster opens his mouth to swallow one drop. Now there's a pearl. A vagrant wanders empty ruins. Suddenly he's wealthy. But don't be satisfied with stories, how things have gone with others. Unfold your own myth. Without complicated explanation, so everyone will understand the passage, we have opened you. Start walking. Your legs will get heavy and tired. Then comes a moment of feeling the wings you've grown lifting.
Here's to the trains I've missed, the loves I've lost, the bridges I've burned, the rivers I've never crossed. Here's to the call I didn't hear, the signs I didn't read, the roads I didn't take, the maps that I just couldn't read. It's a big old world, but I found my way through the hell and the hurt that led me straight to this. Here's to the trains I miss. I've been a clown, I've been a fool, and I pushed on every chance. I searched far and wide, trying to crawl out of God's hands. There were stones I didn't throw, there were hearts I didn't break, and a little hope that I held on to with each silver shining thread of faith. It's a big old world, but I found my way through the hell and the hurt that led me straight to thee. Here's to the trains I miss. There's a place that I've found, the love that I've known, the earth and the sky that I call home. It's the things I need, bigger than me. The moments I find myself right where I'm supposed to be. It's a big old world, but I found my way through the hell and the hurt that led me straight to this. It's a big old world, but I found my way through the hell and the hurt that led me straight to this. It's to the trains I miss.
Some good music this morning. Thanks, guys. You know, when I see this piece that Rumi wrote in the 12th century, I think, has there ever since the 12th century been anyone who could put into words so much of this journey? And has there really been any progress in the human soul since the 12th century? Sometimes I wonder. It seems like there's been a lot of progress. There's been a lot of progress in other ways, but in terms of the human heart and really grasping something of this amazing, mysterious journey of the human life, you know, I think Rumi captures it so often, and with these words, unfold your own myth. You know, don't just be satisfied with the stories of others, but his sensitivity to recognizing how moments of life are transformative and how being open to those moments is what it's all about. When he says, who comes to a spring thirsty and sees the moon reflected in it? That line goes by so quick you don't even really notice. To think, you know, it is true. We often go to things already defined for what we're coming for and don't notice the rest. Being thirsty, I only see the water. I never see the moon reflected in it. Life has this richness throughout it. It's woven into it, this glory, this amazing creative beauty, as if in every stone, every reflection, some bit of this wondrous creator, this creative energy that we celebrate is living and breathing all through us and all through life. That we are that it's our identity. But we close ourselves to so much. Maybe it's not that we ourselves seek to kind of close ourselves off to life, but more that often the experiences of life are reacted to in a way that we begin to become defensive, and we close our eyes to things that are all around us, that are always present. And only when we find our way out of the boxes of our narrow vision with our blinders do we sometimes, in looking back at our lives, notice that there were all kinds of things happening around us, supporting us, bringing possibilities and love. The song that Brad just sang, Here's to the Trains I Missed, however, doesn't necessarily mean that somehow we by missing the train of things that we didn't see in the past or on any long, bad path, we are here. We are this. That song reminds me that it doesn't matter what the wounds of your past may be. It doesn't matter what may have closed the doors in your mind. Those broken places, those narrow channels, those places where life became somehow a little less free, are still the paths on which we find love and beauty and give what we have to offer. We give our own gifts with what we have. You know, there's that great story. Someone's going to have to tell me who it was. Who was the famous violinist who finished the concert without Perlman? Itzhak Perlman. There's that great story where he's, he's got polio. You know, he had polio as a child. He comes on the stage with the crutches, and in the midst of this grand concert, he's performing this incredible piece, and one of the strings breaks. And of course, everyone. Hello. This could be that. And everyone thinks, oh, this is going to be terrible because now, we're going to have to watch him get up, go offset, change the string on this fabulously wonderful historic instrument that he plays, and then come back. This could be 30 minutes of a break in the concert. But the orchestra stops, the conductor looks at Perlman, and Perlman is adjusting his instrument, and he looks back at the conductor and he says, "Proceed." And Perlman goes back to performing and does the rest of the solo and the rest of the concert with 3 strings. And after the concert, someone asked him, they said, "What? It's amazing. How did you do that?" He said, "There comes a point in life where you know you've got to keep going with what you've got. You do what you can with what you have." And we all have a lot. It doesn't matter what broken strings may have happened in our lives, we all have a lot. If you don't believe that, just pause for a moment and think about all the amazing gifts in your life. In here, sometimes we talk about some of the ways in which our lives get kind of narrowed down by life. And it's important to find ways to open it up, but it's also important to recognize that the most important openness in our lives is to open ourselves up to the gift that we are. The gift that you are now. Not that you might become, but the gift that you are now. Maybe this passage that we read this morning where Jesus heals the man who was mute is an example of what could happen for us as well. He says, Ephatha, which means be open. Whatever may have happened in our own lives, in our own childhoods maybe, that robbed us of more capacity to have a voice in life, to sing our song, to live our myth, instead of being satisfied with the stories of others. Whatever it is that may have robbed us of some of that voice, it's important to be open to how it could, with whatever we have, continue to be what it is. And be that voice and let it continue. To take that first step, to be on the journey. I love it where at the end of this poem by Rumi, he says, start walking. Start walking. Your legs will get heavy and tired. Then comes a moment of feeling the wings you've grown, lifting. Sometimes we just have to start walking with what we have, with who we are, and begin to trust somehow, like that mute man, that somewhere along the way, healing for those things that we need will happen. We may not find it immediately, but we'll never find it if we don't just start walking. This season, between now and Lent, we're doing this series right now on the artist's way. What is this creative path of faith? Where what we are somehow called to do is birth that which we are and what we're called to be somehow. And when I think about the creative path, when I think about what it means to live out of that center of creativity, be open is probably one of the most important things that you could ever say to an artist. Just be open. I was thinking about, what is it to be open? What's the difference between being open and being closed? What does being closed look like? Well, being closed is just kind of what happens to you along the way sometimes. It's just the stuff that you pick up along the way that's narrowed. To be open is to somehow be open to possibility, to continue this journey of learning. The greatest way of being closed is to no longer be open to learning. It's interesting that, being open and being closed, sometimes people might say, okay, people who are really open, they're just kind of open to everything. They're just not discerning. They don't know how to say no. They don't know that some things aren't as valuable as others. There's times to be closed. But if you're really open, you're also open to knowing that there are times that you can be open to being closed. And the problem is that if you're closed, you're closed. Nowhere in the concept of being closed is there the concept of being open. And somehow, for me, I find that our culture and our world is in need of more people who are on the side of figuring out how to be open than how to be closed. There's a time to close doors. There's a time and a season for everything. But the time and the season in our world today seems to call upon people of faith to live creatively into their openness, to discover somehow what it is that they have been blind to, where the blinders have led away from the capacity to create wholeness, to give birth to some kind of just and caring and compassionate and deeply connected world. We're much better at building fences and walls. We're much better at punishing other people than finding a way to understand and build connective ways of change. And so the journey, in my perspective, for me and for those of us seeking to just find a path in this world where we can live out that which we're called and feel true to, has more to do with figuring out how to be open. Interestingly enough, we carry some of those patterns of being closed in our bodies. And so one of the best ways to experience challenging the patterns of our closedness is through moving our bodies. And you've probably guessed it, that that's what we're about to do. It's a little thing we do in here every now and then as a way to kind of celebrate life with more than our brains. Because we live in a world that has way too much brain and far too little heart, and even less feet. And so, in a moment, I'm going to invite you to stand, and we're going to join hands. We're going to sing this little song called Mayim, written by our friend Howard. And it will be accompanied by some movements, which I will just demonstrate for you now, because you won't be able to see me when you all stand up. And it goes like this. It goes, sing it first time. Come now, holy water, come and quench our thirst. Mayim, Mayim. Come now, holy water, come and heal our thirst. I think it's on the back screen. Mayim. Epitha, may my heart be open. Epitha, may my mind be open. Epitha, may my life be open. Epitha, be open. Never mind, it's not. Then maybe it's on the front screen.
Yeah, isn't it?
If we could go a couple of pages forward in the PowerPoint. One more, please. There we go. I knew it was there somewhere. That's it. Okay, here we go. So sing along with me and I'll show you the movements. Okay, here we go. Come now. Okay.
Ready? Okay.
Okay, that's so. Come now, holy water, come and heal our thirst. Mayim. Just a grapevine step, then this way.
Come now, holy water, come and quench our thirst.
Mayim. Mayim. Then we drop hands.
Epitha,
May my heart be open. Epitha, may my mind be open. Epitha, may my life be open. Epitha, be open. Then you clap, right? You gotta clap. It's kind of an Israeli feel, right? Okay. Though I need dance lessons, maybe you can help me. Stand up and we'll do this together. So just reach up. We'll hook up hands like this. Here we go. Come on in. Here we go. So we'll start off a little bit to the left. Here we go. Come now, holy water, come and quench our thirst. Mayan, to the right. Come now, holy water, come and quench our thirst. Mayan. Now drop hands. Epitha, may my heart be open. Epitha, may my mind be open. Epitha, may my life be open. Epitha, be open. You guys are doing this way better than me already. Okay. So, as we dance, we don't just dance, you know. You can get self-conscious about dancing, but, you know, it's better if you don't. Just face it, you know, it's better if you don't get self-conscious. And as you dance, I want you to consider the possibility that you're actually doing something. You're not just moving. You're moving toward more openness in your life, right? I mean, clearly you wouldn't be doing what you're doing right now if you weren't moving toward more openness in your life, right? Okay, so here we go, to the left. Come now, holy water, come and heal our earth. Mayan, to the right. Come now, holy water, come and quench our thirst. Mayan. Epitha, may my heart be open. Epitha, may my mind be open. Epitha, may my life be open. Epitha, be open. Beautiful. All right, now, I want you to think of one thing in the world around you right now where you feel like there needs to be something new, some new openness. Maybe it's something in your heart, maybe it's something in your life, something in your relationships where things have gotten too closed, where you need more openness. Maybe it's in the community where there's some conflict between people, maybe in your work or school, or maybe if you can't think of anything else, I want you to hold in your mind for this next verse, Congress. Okay. Okay. Are we ready? Come now, holy water, come and heal our earth. Mayan. Come now, holy water, come and quench our thirst. Mayan. Epitha, may my heart be open. Epitha, may my mind be open. Epitha, may my life be open. Epitha, be open. Okay, now, just stand there for a second. We got a few things we want to pray about as long as we're doing this. We're going to say some things. We got a few people who want to join the church today. Elizabeth Wills is going to join the church today. And I think we got somebody else. And I don't have, I'm Laura Daggett. And so, anybody else want to join the church today? Anybody else? Okay, so we ask of the two of you, will you be faithful to the United Methodist Church with all your prayers, your presence, your gifts, and your service?
I will.
We welcome you. Thanks for being a part of our community and joining the dance. And so we'll they'll be up here after the celebration if you want to greet them and welcome them, or you could just dance with them again right now. So yeah, you got to dance. And as we do this, we also we want to remember in our circle, you know, the wisdom in the circle dance is that this isn't just a circle that includes those of us holding hands. It's a circle that it actually is about encompassing and representing, as the Native Americans said, the sacred hoop of all our relationships, all our relations. And so we dance not just for ourselves and for our community, but for the world. Let's do this one more time together. Come now, holy water, come and heal our earth. Mayan. Come now, holy water, come and quench our thirst. Mayan. Epitha, may my heart be open. Epitha, may my mind be open. Epitha, may my life be open. Epitha, be open. Let's pray. Holy One, as we leave from this place, grant us the wisdom to find the place in our lives that need to crack open. And the places where they're already cracked, maybe let us lean towards the light that comes through the cracks and recognize the ways every wound opens us to possibility, to new learning. Help us never be closed to that and to the gift that we are as we are. Help us to remember when we need to just start walking and so find our wings. So we pray. Amen.